As I said, there are 6 main flags that you should have if you want a really good, prosperous, safe life. You will make money. You won't be under too many obligations to your government. In fact, you'll be invisible from almost all governments. And now I'll quickly list the 6 flags, and we'll talk in this video and in future ones about each one in detail. Okay, citizenship and passport, most important. A Ukrainian chap who's seen some of my other videos got in touch with me personally and says, boy, I wish I had a second passport. Can you help me get one? And I said, well, what do you need one for? He said, hey, isn't it obvious? I have a Ukrainian passport now, and if I try to renew it, they're going to send me back to Kiev. And when I get there, I get a shovel and a rifle, and I'm told, go that way and get yourself shot up. He said, I'm not interested in that. I want to be a PT like you, which is kind of invisible from any government. And tell me how to get a passport. Well, right now, I will tell you a little bit about that, but this is going to be a 6-part video, and I'm going to talk to you about all the different 6 flags. But one of the big reasons that I didn't mention last time is you never know when your country is going to go into a war mode and draft you. So if you're in that age, usually in most countries it's around 18 to 36. If you're in that age group and you don't want to be drafted, then you should think about having a second passport, or if at least not a second passport, a second residence. Now, a residence, you go to a place and you apply to live there. And then you usually get an ID card that says you're a resident. So if there's a war or problems in your home country, you can go to this country, even if you don't have a current passport. You can go with your ID card and they will let you in and you are safe. So that's why our second flag is residence. If you don't, it's harder to get a passport. Usually there's a residence requirements, like you have to live there 3 years, to, in some places like Switzerland, 12 years. So residence is a lot easier to get. And there's all kinds of people on the tube advertising residence. And there's golden visas and all this kind of stuff. And they're selling residences up to $1 million US, maybe even more. But I tell my people, and you, it's silly to pay for a residence. There's most countries you can go to, you get a visa called a long-term visa, and when you're there, you register with the police, and for some very nominal amount, like maybe 50 US dollars or 50 euros, for some nominal amount, you get your residence card. And that's that. No $500,000 to live in Portugal or someplace like that. Okay, now I'm going to briefly run through all the 6 flags. I call them flags for lack of a better word. But first was citizenship. Second is residence. Third is playground. What's a playground? A playground is a place where you can go and spend money and gamble and play like you're 007 James Bond and seduce pretty girls, or if you're a lady, seduce handsome men. But it's a place where you can go and be invisible. It's like Las Vegas for foreigners. If you're a foreigner and you come to Las Vegas, remember, whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. All right, after playgrounds, we talk about a business base. Now, in the age of the internet, many people don't need a physical business base. But if you're Elon Musk and you're growing, I should say, you're building huge factories Of course, you have to make a deal with the government for uh, protection against things like unwarranted labor strikes. You have to get a water supply. In other words, for many businesses, you need a physical location. And in many places, the government will actually, to encourage a business, give you a special tax status, give you free land, give you free water. It'll do all kinds of good stuff for you, but it's called a business base. All right. I'll have more to say about that later. Then, once you start getting a little rich, you want to put some of your assets, your money, in a place that manages that money. And that used to be Switzerland, but it isn't anymore. A good place to have money managed for, in my opinion, is maybe Singapore, maybe Hong Kong. They both have advantages and disadvantages. But where I wouldn't go is small places like Belize or little countries in the Caribbean that don't have any banking regulations. So once again, we're going to come back to more of this in detail. The sixth flag, which is going to be the most important to anybody watching this, is your cyberspace website. It's where you're going to sell information or a product or a service, and the funds to pay for it are going to come into you in an anonymous way, maybe Bitcoin or other crypto. But the important thing is when you're in the business generated by your sixth flag, namely the internet, you're invisible to most governments, or at least you can be. Make yourself invisible, and you should. So that is our introduction and our second video. And tomorrow I'm going to go into more detail, and you'll have a good time. You'll be very prosperous, safe, and this is only for people who want to be unknown and invisible. I personally feel there was a time when I wanted people to know my name and see my Rolls Royce, but that time is long gone. You're much better off in today's world to be wealthy and nobody knows you are. See you tomorrow.